Thank you, Your Honor. Eltra Parker, please stand. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Defendant's advocate, you have 10 minutes to proceed. Please start.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Could you please introduce your name to the court?
My name is Eltra Parker.
Okay, Ms. Parker, could you tell us more about you?
I am a chemical engineering student and I work as a part-time delivery driver at the PTB, which stands for Package Delivery Service. And I have worked there for a year.
Ms. Parker, could you please elaborate on your duties as a delivery man for PDP?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, well, as a delivery driver, I use my own car, but I always wear my PDB uniform whenever I am on duty. And I collect the crates from the PDB's warehouse, which contain packages that I need to deliver. And I look through the manifest. The manifest contain the serial numbers of the package and the corresponding address to it. And I do not check the contents of the crate. And I load the crates at the trunk of my car and I start my delivery. And I also collect the payment of the packages. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. And now I'm directing your attention to the day in question. Ms. Parker, on 1st March 2020, what actually happened at Pacific Avenue Road?
On March 1st, 2020, I was on my third delivery run along the Pacific Avenue Road, and Diane was also with me. At the time when I was driving on the Pacific Road, an officer stopped me to pull over my car. So I pull over my car, and that officer is Senior Officer Straight, and he said like, "This is the police routine checkpoint. Where are you two heading today?" So I respond like, "Well, I'm on a delivery run." And at the time, Senior Officer Straight like crouching up and looking down throughout the car, and he asked me to give like to hand the ID. So I gave my driver license to him.
Okay, and after Senior Officer Strait inspected your identification, what happened next?
Well, after he inspected my ID, he told that he wanted to conduct a search of my car. I asked him why, but he didn't reply, and he asked me and Jane to step out of my car.
Okay, and what happened next?
Well, I asked like, do I need an advocate? How can I get one now? But that officer straight didn't respond. So I thought we should step out of the car. So we stepped out of the car.
Okay, and what happened after you stepped out of the car?
Well, me and Jane like stood at the sidewalk, and senior officer straight and other officer five, searched my car. They search the car and then they go back to the trunk of my car and they open the trunk and they search it, but not in a clear public view. But I saw officers right-handed a baggie and my black bag to officer five, and officer five walked to the trunk of the police car with that. I can't see what officer five was doing at the trunk of the police car because it was like 10 meters away from us.
Okay, and after the search was conducted, what happened next?
Well, after they searched my car, Officer Strait uh, get come back to us, and he told that he wanted to conduct a frisk search on us, and he proceeded the frisk search.
Okay, Ms. Parker, what happened after the frisk search?
Well, after the frisk search, he He told me that I was under arrest for the possession of drug with the intent to sell.
And then what happened?
And we were placed at the back of the police car and we were taken to the police station.
Okay. Moving on to my next question. What happened after the officers placed you at the police station, Miss Parker?
Well, after I was placed at the police station, I again asked for an advocate, and my advocate finally arrived.
What happened after your advocate arrived?
Well, we wanted to conduct an interview, but I was told that no room available, so I have to conduct the interview in my holding cell with a guard present for security reason.
And what happened next?
Well, ma'am, I didn't consider that the guard present would leave my attorney-client privilege because because I didn't feel like I had a choice on when and where that I can meet my advocate because they didn't tell me that a guard present can leave my attorney-client privilege. I thought I thought my conversation with my attorney will be private and confidential.
I see, Miss Parker. What happened after that?
Well, we conducted the interview in my holding cell with a guard present, and I had a conversation with my attorney. I never told my attorney that me and Jane are going to sell the drugs or to split the money from the sale of the drugs. I told my attorney that I don't do drugs.
Thank you, Miss Parker. No further questions, Your Honor.
Miss Eltra Parker, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. How are you today?
Yeah, as you see.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us here. Okay. Now, Miss Eltra Parker, do you remember the incidents of March 1st, 2020?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You were up most of the night before, most of the night studying for an examination the day before. Am I
Yes, I
right?
do.
Yeah. And you were up most of the night studying, and after that, in the morning, very early, you went to your job for delivery run. Am I correct?
I can't got your question. Can you react?
Okay. You just said that you were up very late and you were studying, right?
Yes,
And in the morning you went for your job. Am I correct?
yes,
Yeah, in the morning. Yeah. Okay. And so you said that your eyes were bloodshot because you were up studying the night before. Am I correct?
yes.
Okay. Your Honors, I'd like to stress this point that the defendant admitted that she was sleep deprived. Okay. Um, Miss
Yeah,
Eltra.
that's something you can argue in closing argument. It's not appropriate to make that point now, but you may continue to cross-examine the witness.
Okay, Your Honor, I withdraw my statement. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, so Miss Eltra Parker, after Officer Strait told you to get out of the car, did you ask for a lawyer?
I asked for a lawyer before I stepped out of the car, but he didn't respond.
Okay. Did he tell you not to move?
I had a reason for it, but he didn't tell me.
I'm asking you that, did he tell you not to move? That you
No,
can't
he didn't.
move? Okay. What did you say to Officer Strait?
I don't get your question. Can you specify?
I'm asking, what did you say to Officer Strait?
I said to Officer Straight many things. What do you want me to
Okay,
say?
so at that exact time when he told you to get out of the car, I'm asking about that time.
After I stepped out of the car, I I can't say anything to Officer Straight because they were searching my car at the bank.
I'm asking you, when he told you to get out of the car, after that, did you say anything to Officer Strait?
No, I didn't.
You didn't say anything to Officer Strait.
I said before I stepped out of the car, but I didn't say after I stepped out of the car because he didn't respond.
Okay. I asked you after Officer Strait told you to get out of the car. I didn't ask you whether you got out of the car. So let me ask it again. After Officer Strait told you to get out of the car, did you say anything to him?
No, I didn't.
You didn't. Okay. Okay. So before that, what did you say? According to you, before that, what did you say?
Before I stepped out of the car,
Yeah.
yes, I said exactly like, do I need an advocate? How can I get one now to Officer Strait?
Okay. So you asked him whether you needed a lawyer or not, and again asked him whether he knows how you can find a lawyer. Am I right?
Yes,
Okay. Did you respond at that time, exactly at that time?
I don't get your question.
Did he respond to you exactly at that time?
No, he didn't. He
Okay.
ignored.
At that time, were you charged with anything?
I don't get your question.
At that time, were you charged with anything?
Where where I charged with anything?
Yeah,
What
at
do
that
you
time.
mean?
Okay. Did he say that you were charged with this and this, anything like that?
No, he searched my corpus.
You were not charged with anything. Okay. Let's go to the incidents of the police station. Okay. Okay. Were you given an option to wait for a private interview room to be available?
No, I didn't.
Did Officer Momo told you that if you want to conduct an interview in a private room, you will have to wait?
I don't know who's
Okay.
Officer Momo. What I told was by the guard,
Okay. Okay.
and the guard told me
Did
only
you
three
have
things.
an option to wait for a private interview room to be available? Did, um, can't you understand my question? Do I have to ask it? Rephrase it?
I didn't hear very well.
Okay, okay, okay. It's okay. Let me rephrase it. Did you have an option to wait for a private interview room to be available?
Sir, I don't have an option. I will have an option when they give me the option. They don't give me the option. How can I
Okay,
get an option?
so they you're saying that they didn't give you any option. They just told you that you have to conduct your interview in the jail cell. Did they say anything like that to you?
What they said was there was no interview room. I have to meet in my interview, and
And
it interview will be occurred. That's the only three things they told to me.
yeah, yeah. And okay, are you sure that you remember those incidents properly?
Definitely, sir. I'm sure.
You're sure. Okay. Do you remember what you said in your written statement?
Yes, definitely, sir.
Okay. Okay, Miss Eltra Parker.
Yes.
Did you agree to an interview with a guard being present?
So they told me to interview in my room with a guard. Then how am I
Okay.
supposed to disagree?
Okay, I understand. I'm asking you questions. If you could please cooperate. Okay. When they gave you this option, was your lawyer present with you?
I wasn't given any option.
Okay. Was your lawyer with you at that time?
Uh, can you ask the question again? Was that my lawyer with me where?
Yeah. When they told you that there's no private room available, you will have to conduct your interview in a jail cell with a guard present. Was your lawyer present at that time?
Sir, I do not recall that statement both in my chief examination and both in my sworn statement.
You do not recall
That the
that,
lawyer is all the time with me.
Your Honors. May I introduce her written statement into evidence because she is contradicting her written statement.
Um, Judges, would anyone like to weigh in? I have a thought, but if you would like to weigh in, you. So as I had stated with when this came up before, the statement itself does not come into evidence. If you believe that a statement that Eltra Parker has said under oath in this proceeding is inconsistent with a statement that Eltra Parker made under oath in writing, you may present that to Eltra Parker and ask Eltra Parker if that's her sworn testimony. But the statement itself does not come into evidence. And without asking her questions about the statement itself, there's no foundation for it to be entered anyway. So the request to have the statement entered as evidence is overruled, but you may ask her questions about her statement if that's how you would like to proceed.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Eltra Parker, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
So my question was your advocate with you at that time when the jail officials told you that you would have to conduct the interview in a jail cell because no private room was available?
Sir, I told you already that I do not recall that both in my chief examination and both in my sworn statement that my advocate is all the time together with me.
Okay. I'm reading your written statement, which is
Yes.
when my advocate finally arrived, I wanted to speak with him very badly. When I was told that no room was available, and I had to meet in my interview room, I was frantic and did not even think about the guard being present. So now let me ask again. So when you were given that, when you were said that you'd have to conduct your interview in a jail cell, because no private interview room was available, was your guard present with you? Or was your lawyer present with you?
In that jail interview room?
If you're still confused, I don't understand how I can make you entertain.
Sir, I'm very stick to my strong statement. As to my strong statement, I never mentioned that my advocate is all the time together with me, even at the jail cell or even at every time. What I
Okay,
told about my advocate is he arrived at the police station. I'm
okay,
very stick to my strong statement, sir.
okay, Mr. Parker, we will see that. Okay, so you're saying that you were not with your advocate at that time.
I'm not saying that too, sir.
Don't you know where your advocate with you or not with you at that time? Don't you know?
What I what I state what I said in my strong statement about the advocate is the advocate arrived at the station, and I had a conversation with my advocate after for the interview at my jail room with the first person. That's it. That's all about the advocate.
So you don't know whether your advocate was
Thumbs
present.
up.
Your Honors, may I have 2 more minutes to finish my cross-examination?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honors. Okay, Ms. Eltra Parker, I'm moving on. Okay. Did you know that a guard was going to be present when you were having the conversation with your advocate?
Yes, a guard told me.
Okay, okay. That's all I need. Okay. Ms. Eltra Parker, did your lawyer tell you that if a guard is present, your attorney-client privilege will be waived?
I don't get your question.
Did your lawyer tell you that if a guard is present in the jail cell, your attorney-client privilege will be waived? Did your lawyer tell you this?
Sir, my lawyer had a conversation with just me.
This is a
The
simple
guard
question, yes
said,
or no question. It's based on your knowledge.
"Sir, I can't give you based on my own knowledge. I have to stick to my own statement. I can give you extra statements that is not in my own statement."
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna interject here. Although there has not been an objection, what you are asking is for this witness to disclose an attorney-client privilege communication. And I feel it's the duty of the judges to uphold the attorney-client privilege communication of confidentiality. So I'm gonna stop the line of questioning. You may move on, but you're running near the end of your time, but you should not ask the witness about communications with her advocate.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Ms. Eltra Parker.
Yes,
Officer Momo says that you told your advocate that you had intent to sell the drugs in a party and divide the profit with Diane Kayan. But you, in your chief examination, said that you told your lawyer that you don't do drugs. Am I correct?
I told my lawyer I don't do drugs, but I don't know what
Yeah.
that Officer Momo will say.
You told your lawyer that you don't do drugs. And this is the conversation you're claiming that is supposed to be privileged. Am I correct?
I don't get your question.
This is the conversation you are claiming that should be privileged. Am I correct?
My conversation should be what?
Privileged.
Privilege? The attorney-client privilege?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand how my
Thumbs up.
conversation can attack the attorney-client privilege.
Thumbs up.
Your
Okay.
Honors, this is the last question. May I?
You may ask one more question and then we're going to move on to the next witness.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honors. Okay, Ms. Eltra Parker, this is the last question. Okay. So you are saying you told your lawyer that you don't do drugs anymore in that conversation.
Objection, Your
That's jail.
Honor.
Let him
Objection, Your
finish.
Honor.
Let him finish the question, and then and the witness should not answer until we hear the objection. But go ahead and finish the question, or start again, and let's let the question come out.
Ms. Eltra Parker, in your chief examination, you said that you told your lawyer that you don't do drugs in that jail cell interview. Am I correct?
Yes, I told to my attorney that I don't do drugs.
Okay.
Would the defense like to redirect this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Miss Ultra, Miss Parker, would you like to clarify on why you felt like you were not being free to move?
Yes, ma'am, I would like to. Because, ma'am, Officer Strait stopped my vehicle. And he asked me where I was going. He asked my ID. He inspected my ID, and he searched my car, and he did the first search of my car. Ma'am, how am I supposed to move an agent while I'm under interrogation of a police officer?
Okay. Miss Parker, why did you choose to meet your advocate in the room voluntarily?
Ma'am, I didn't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I was not given any option. What I was given was, I was told no room was available. I have to meet in my holding cell, and it will be with a group percent. I don't have a choice because I don't know when or where I could meet with my advocate, and they didn't give me an option. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Parker, why did you respond to Officer Street when you could have remained silent?
Ma'am, he asked me like, where are you going? He asked my ID. I have to respond. He asked where I'm going. I have to respond. he wanted to search my car. I asked him, but he didn't respond. I asked him that I wanted an advocate. He didn't respond. Ma'am, he ignored my desire all the whole time when I was not unspoken. If I was unspoken, I don't know what will happen.
Ms. Parker, can you elaborate on how you asked for an advocate, please?
Yes, ma'am. I asked to set senior officer straight clearly. Do I need an advocate? How can I get one now?
Okay, and what was your knowledge about PDP being under police surveillance for drug trafficking?
Your Honors, objection, foundation. We didn't ask these questions in cross-examination.
Okay. How do you, defense, do you have a response?
I'll exclude the question, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You may proceed then with another question.
Moving on to the next question, Ms. Parker, the prosecution claimed that you appeared anxious when your car was stopped. Please clarify on this.
Ma'am, I was not anxious at that traffic
Your
point.
Honor,
I was not anxious.
we did not ask her these type of questions in
I'm
cross-examination.
sorry, Your Honor. They claimed in the chief examination of Officer Strait that my client appeared anxious when they stopped the car.
Yes, but what about the questions of this particular witness?
They said, may I rephrase the question, Your Honor?
Yes. Are you withdrawing the question?
Yes,
Would you
Your
like to
Honor.
withdraw it and rephrase it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Ms. Eltra, could you please clarify regarding the bloodshot eyes?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I had bloodshot eyes because I was up most of the nights for studying for the upcoming university exam. That's why my eyes are bloodshot.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.